Cheers.
Hey folks! I'm gonna just tuck my notes away. Welcome to episode 2 of Into Camp Chairs with Emily. And today I have the pleasure of introducing our very own and beloved Nancy Kirstein.
Oh, thank you. Thanks
Welcome.
for having me.
So nice to see you.
Me too. I feel really tall right now. I just
look
feel
tall.
very tall.
For the first time ever, Nancy feels tall.
It's great.
The smallest person I know. We have also the pleasure of filming today at Nancy's farm.
Yes.
So we have a beautiful landscape and some friends joining us.
Occasionally, yes.
So
Yes.
can't wait. And Nancy's going to tell us today about Grand Teton National Park, about her experiences there. So you've spent quite a bit of time there.
Yes.
You've got some great stories. So settle in because this is going to be a good one.
It's
So what's your first memory of visiting Grand Teton National Park?
So my very first memory, I actually, when I was looking through like photos of, preparing to do this, it dawned on me when I had first been there, and it was kind of an out of the way trip to Leadville, Colorado.
Okay.
Which is very out of the way.
The way.
But I think we were kind of maybe close. So, but we and my now husband Jeff, we were training for the Leadville 100, and he's like, let's go to Grand Teton and maybe log some miles there. So we drove up to Jackson, and that was my first time there. I think we camped at Jenny Lake that time, and it was great. So we've been back there at least once a year, I think, ever since. That was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago. So
20 years in the same park. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually climbed the Grand, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us that story? Because that's a good one.
That's a great story. It was back in, I want to say 2003. Jeff had climbed the Grand a few years before that with his family, and we decided to climb it.
Okay.
With two of our friends, Tim and Chris, who we also call Hoob.
Okay.
And we decided, we were going to do kind of the traditional Owen Spalding route. It's a 5-4, so you do need some equipment with it.
Climbing equipment.
Climbing equipment, yep. And I would consider myself a novice climber. Mostly I don't pay attention to anything, and if Jeff wasn't there, I would fall to my death. So
a different kind of story.
Yes, just So he had completely left out a whole bunch of details, or I wasn't paying attention to details, but there were lots of surprises on this trip. So when you climb the Grand, you have to get permits to backcountry camp. You don't actually have to get a permit to climb. And a lot of people now do it in one day, which is incredible to me because it's a 14-mile round trip from car to car, and it's 7,000 feet of elevation gain. So it's
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But so we decided to do it. We were going to do it in 3 days, 2 nights kind of a thing. So you'd hike up, and that's kind of the traditional way to do it. You hike up to the lower saddle and camp there. And then from the lower saddle, you get up early, like an alpine start. You get up at like 2 a.m. or something, and then you do the summit. And then you get back down before weather rolls in. And then you hike back down to the meadows, and then you hike out the next day. So you camp again. So that's what we were planning on doing. And the
It's an exciting place.
Something's going on over there. So we were prepared to do this. We do the hike up to the lower saddle. It's pretty uneventful. It's pretty busy though too. I mean, there's a lot of climbing guiding companies and bring up big groups, and so you kind of get behind them and they're kicking rocks down on your head and not real dreamy. Not real dreamy.
Not super excited about that.
Not super excited about that. And you're carrying big packs because you're camping overnight and doing all that.
Totally.
So we get up to the lower saddle, set up camp. We're pretty, jazzed for the next morning. So we get up super early, and we know that we have to. Sydney. Sid. Oh, okay.
Everyone.
Oh, okay. Hi, buddy. This is Buck.
This is a brief commercial break. We should advertise something.
I feel like we should advertise. What kind of camp chair are you sitting in right now?
I'm sitting in the Helinox Chair 1.
It is great. I love that green color.
They're not sponsoring us, but maybe they should. What are you sitting in?
I am sitting in a big Agnes chair. It is very nice. It has a nice tall back. The one thing that I would like is a beverage holder.
Yeah, like a little armrest situation. They make them. They do make them.
Yeah.
It makes you feel tall.
I do feel very tall. I feel very tall right now.
This is Buck. Buck, welcome to the video.
That's right.
You're looking very, very nice.
Yes. Good job, buddy. Great. Can you just lay down or something? Oh, okay. Great.
So you get to the lower saddle.
And
then you're heading for the
we're heading for the summit. And we know that we're kind of slower movers.
Yeah.
So we know that we got to get up pretty early in the morning. And so I think we get up about 2 a.m. And then we eat a delicious breakfast of oatmeal, probably mixed with coffee or something.
Oh, yikes.
And then we do the summit bid. We almost immediately get off trail and somehow end up, I don't know. We did climb a chimney, which is on the Owen Spalding route, but it might be a different route. Whatever. And then there's a place on the Grand that's called the belly roll. And a lot of people do this now. They free solo it. They don't use anything. They up and down in one day. So the belly roll is just this little ledge that you have to get across. And if it was 5 feet off the ground, not a big deal. Totally fine. This is 2,000 feet. If you misstep, you are falling to your death.
Oh my gosh.
So, we rope
Nerdy.
up. Yeah. I'm like,
Mad.
Also did not know this little tidbit.
No one told me.
No one told me about this. But we did rope up there, and this is the point in time where some young guy, basically in like a pair of track shorts and a headband, comes up behind us, and he's like, hey guys, can I just sneak by you? I have to be to work by 4. And we're like, what? So yeah, he just buzzed around us and and then get back down and go to work that night.
Whoa!
Who are these people?
Yeah. A casual morning.
Right. So we get through there, kind of get back on track. It's still we're starting to burn daylight hours, so we know that we need to kind of pick up the pace.
Get a move on.
And our friend Tim didn't quite get to the summit, so he was just going to wait down by the descent for us. So Jeff, Chris, and I got to the summit. We were up there for a little bit. There's lots of people up there, taking photos. We did have cell phones back then, and there is cell phone service up there, which is great. And do the summit, go back down. This is where the highlight for some people is there. We get here and there is 160-foot free rappel
to descend.
I did not know about this.
Also, let's specify what free rappel means.
So it's there. You're standing on top of the rock, and then all of a sudden the whole rest of the rock cuts away, and it's just you and the rope. You have nothing to put your feet onto. So you're just flying.
Loose.
You're just flying
just
out
a
there.
loose person.
I had never done this before. So let's do this descending Grand Teton.
Amazing.
So I do this. Mm-hmm. I think Jeff went down
angrily.
First.
You do it
Yeah,
angrily?
I get down and I was just like you have no choice. So you get down. I get down and I'm fuming. I'm talking to some other guy that's standing over there waiting for his party to descend, and I'm very mad. And then our friend Tim starts to rappel down and just like, let's go. So Tim is supposed to be like this with the rope, and all of a sudden he's like this with the rope. So he's kind of teetering, and he just kind of lost it. But we do get him down. It was kind of a very...
Someone had to belay him from below.
Yeah, so we did a fireman belay, and so they just stopped the ropes and stopped him, actually, and just would slowly let up and let him down a little bit, and then let him just kind of piece him down.
Yeah.
And then when he did hit the ground finally, he just kind of snapped out of whatever had happened.
Whoa.
And so it was very scary. I felt really bad for being mad about the whole situation. But then, we're like, okay, we all get down fine, do the descent. We start to see weather rolling in, and it's always a dangerous time to be on the mountain. So we're trying to get back to the tent and all that stuff in time. And we get down just as the storm rolls in, and it's like hailing and lightning and pelting rain, and we go in. There's a little cave that we find. We quickly kind of take down our tent, the fly from it, crawl into this cave, which we ended up calling the Pain Cave. We get in there, and I don't know if it was Jeff or if it was Chris or somebody else was like, hey, there were other people that were kind of up there, and they're like, you can join us here in the Pain Cave.
Right.
So
everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome in the Pain Cave. I think there ended up being like 15 of us in there.
Whoa.
And we were using the tent as like a door, kind of.
Block the rain.
Yeah. The best part for me was that I was the only girl in this tent, and I was there with a whole bunch of guys who had just summited the Grand. They were fired up.
Oh, jeez.
So it was, and I was mad
full
at
of energy.
Yeah, and I was really mad at my boyfriend at the time. So, it didn't end poorly for me.
You married the boyfriend.
I did marry the boyfriend.
So clearly it wasn't.
Yes, it wasn't too bad, but
too much of an offense.
No, it wasn't. But it was just kind of a very surreal moment. It was. So that the storm passes, and we kind of pack up. I do have to mention though that at that point in time on the lower saddle, there was probably the greatest toilet in the history of the world up there.
History of the world.
History of the world.
Take
it had
notes.
The best view. You're sitting on, they were two 55-gallon drums that somebody had just built a wood seat over. And there, your view was into Idaho, and
there was no door.
There was no door. There was no door. You just got
a view.
That's right. You just have a view, and so you don't know what to expect when you go around that corner.
No,
they could both be full. They could be empty.
Oh my God, both full.
Both.
Whoa!
I know. So
that's a big move.
It's a big move. There's no knocking. Anyway, those are no longer up there, and
they're not there.
They're not there anymore.
No.
So now you have to carry out all of your own waste.
Right.
So they used to helicopter them out at the end of every season, which had to just be terrible. But we start.
Days passed.
Yeah. We pack up, start to descend, and we're beat at this point, and we have a little less than 7 miles to go.
Oh, geez, yeah. So a ways.
And we're getting closer to the meadows, which is where our permit is to camp that night. And our friend Tim decides that it's full of mice. We were getting down there kind of right at dark, and you could just see the ground.
Oh, no.
And he's like, no, I'm not staying here.
He's terrified of mice.
He's terrified of mice. So
you've had this insane day.
Yes.
And you get to the place you're supposed to sleep. And Tim won't sleep there.
So we go back to the car, and we were out of water. It was crazy. I think we finally got to the car maybe at 11 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
So then we roll back into Jackson. There are absolutely no hotel rooms. Nothing's open. There's no food. We did find a hotel room, which is a whole nother story.
Story for another time.
Yes, exactly. But the Grand, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
It's not a difficult climb, but it is technical for most people, and the weather is no joke. I think somebody died up there that day. So you just have to be mindful of that stuff.
There's like always an afternoon storm,
yes,
right?
Always an afternoon storm, or you can always expect one, or you should always expect one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Good to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a beautiful hike, and even if you want to hike up to the lower saddle, I think you gain 5,000 feet, like in that, from your car to the lower saddle.
Yes.
It's pretty substantial, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing. What a great story. Would you do it again?
Yeah, I think I would, knowing now what to anticipate, what to expect. Yeah.
With the same boyfriend, or maybe different?
Sure. I'd take him. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to climb.
Right.
I don't even know how to
supplying the technical knowledge.
Right. Tie into my harness. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I love that story. Wild.